Tonight on Cronkite News, how two organizations are helping families from both sides of the border reunite. Plus,
if I'm going to rebrand myself, it would be maybe America's Shaman.
The man better known as the Q-Anon Shaman is looking to represent Arizona on Capitol Hill. The reason some analysts are urging caution.
And for the first time in nearly a decade, the Sun Devils are going dancing on D1 volleyball's biggest stage. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Tabitha Bland.
And I'm Jacob Luthi. Thank you for joining us.
The ongoing 4-day truce between Israel and Hamas has now been extended 2 additional days. This information according to a spokesperson for the Qatar Foreign Ministry.
Last week, the two sides agreed to the 4-day truce.
The truce follows more than 6 weeks of fighting with more than 15,000 people killed on both sides. During the truce, both sides have released prisoners and hostages and have committed to allow humanitarian aid to help those in Gaza. So far, Hamas has released 69 people who have been held hostage. Meantime, Israeli leaders have released 117 Palestinians taken as prisoners. One of the people freed is 4-year-old Abigail Eden. She is Israeli-American and was taken by Hamas in early October. Eden has ties to Arizona and has a relative in Scottsdale. There are reportedly 10 other Americans who are still unaccounted for at this time.
2 nonprofit organizations are working together to reunite families that have been separated for decades. Cronkite News reporter Roxanne De La Rosa joins us in the newsroom to tell us about the emotional reunions.
For Latino families, reunions are vital, but some individuals have been separated from their families for decades due to their immigration status. Recently, many Mexican families had the opportunity to join their loved ones here in Phoenix. Elena Diaz hugs her mother for the first time in 23 years.
It's sad. It's sad because there is so much distance. God's timing is perfect.
Her 74-year-old mother, Catalina Diaz, traveled from Cuernavaca, Mexico, to meet her daughter in Phoenix. Through tears, Diaz serenades her mother as she arrives. Raíces del Sur, Roots of the South, helped Diaz's mother obtain a tourist visa to visit her and meet her great-grandchildren.
It's beautiful because you don't expect that they will be able to help you. And when you're told yes, in reality, whatever you pay, it's nothing. It's all worth it to see your family, especially when it's a mother and father who are the pillars of a family.
Raíces del Sur's mission is to reunite separated families from Mexico and the U.S. The requirements to qualify are a valid passport, to be at least 60 years of age, to not have been deported with false documents. Mrs. Diaz was part of a group of 10 parents who reunited with their families at a restaurant in North Phoenix. A nonprofit, Esperanza en la Frontera, has been collaborating with Raíces del Sur for 3 consecutive years.
We help people here, the United States and outside of the United States. We collect food, clothes, shoes, basic needs. Whatever donations we get from here, we take them to the border.
Diaz says she is beyond excited to have her mother for the holidays. Her visa is valid for 10 years and plans on returning to see her family as often as she can.
She's going to spend Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. She'll be here for more than a month and a half. We are all so happy because we didn't expect her to be here for so long.
Families held each other throughout the night after being apart for so long. Now they will create new memories together as a united family without the long distance keeping them apart. Brought more than 30 parents to Arizona to visit their families from Mexico. If you want more information on Raíces del Sur, you can visit their website. In the newsroom, Roxanne De La Rosa, Cronkite News.
Turning now to politics, he's been known by many names: Jacob Chansley, Jake Angeli, and Q-Anon Shaman, among others. But now, Jacob Angeli Chansley hopes to be known by a new name: Congressman. Alexandria Cullen has the story from our Washington bureau.
Chansley still practices shamanism, but he wants voters in Arizona's 8th congressional district to know that he is not the Q-Anon Shaman that came to be known as the face of the January 6th attack on the Capitol.
If I'm going to rebrand myself, it would be maybe America's shaman.
Angeli Chansley's rebranding comes as he mounts a libertarian bid for Congress just months after he was released from prison for his role on January 6th.
I consider myself a true American candidate, somebody that can and will speak for their people in District 8 and for all American people, for that matter.
But rebranding may not be enough to sway voters, says Paul Bentz of the public affairs firm High Ground.
He's one of the poster childs of the January 6th incursion. It'd be very difficult to separate himself from that.
Bentz noted that the West Valley has a significant number of retirees, voters who may not be interested in an extreme candidate.
Maybe some of the messaging he has around conservatism might resonate, but the packaging, the overall position, I don't think is going to go over very well.
The district is currently represented by Congresswoman Debbie Lesko, whose retirement has drawn a deep pool of high-profile GOP candidates. Mike Noble of Noble Predictive Insights says Angeli Chansley may have a better shot running for a state race.
It's because money matters a lot less there, because there's a lot less voters you got to get to, and it's actually very feasible to get to on a grassroots level.
But Angeli Chansley is determined and prefers to look at the future instead of the past.
As a congressman, I will have a platform to highlight not just these problems, but the real solutions that we have to solve them.
Angeli Chansley submitted his statement of interest to the Arizona Secretary of State this month, the first step towards the Libertarian Party's primary next spring. In Washington, Alexandria Cullen, Cronkite News.
Libertarians in Arizona run a closed primary, meaning only party members can vote. In a statement on Angeli Chansley's announcement, the Libertarian Party said that it's up to the state to determine who is qualified to appear on the ballot.
Coming up next, period products are costly, and they might cost you more here in Arizona. How state policies affect the price of period products, up next. Plus,
Chavez, we had beautiful weather across the valley for our Thanksgiving weekend, but now a cool down and even a chance of rain is headed our way. I'll have your full forecast coming up next.
And that's the way it is. Monday, September.
Newscasting has changed a lot since the time of Walter Cronkite. That's why here at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism, you can learn the studio production skills of today in real time. Whether you want to work audio, direct, technical direct, design graphics, or you can even run the floor. It's all part of the Television Production and Graphics Lab here at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. We're going on in 3, 2...
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Welcome back. 1.8 million people worldwide have their period each month, according to UNICEF. But for many, financial barriers make menstruation difficult.
Deanna Pistono joins us now with a breakdown of the cost of menstruation in the U.S.
Menstruation, having your period, getting your visit from Aunt Flo. We've got all kinds of terms and euphemisms, but here's the basics of how it works. A period is just part of someone's overall menstrual cycle, which varies in length but can last between 24 and 38 days. During the cycle, hormones progesterone and estrogen increase in the body, and the uterus develops a lining to prepare for a pregnancy. If you don't get pregnant, hormone levels fall, and so does the lining. The shedding of the lining causes bleeding and amounts to your typical period. Now that we know the basics of how a period works, let's move on to two things that make health harder for those who get them, these being period poverty and the tampon tax. According to the Alliance for Period Supplies, period poverty is the struggle to purchase period supplies due to lack of income. One 2021 survey found that 2 in every 5 people in the U.S. experience period poverty and may end up missing school or work as a result of not having adequate menstrual products like pads, tampons, and menstrual cups. Add this to people spending money for pain medication during period cramps, and that can be a considerable expense for a natural part of someone's life. I spoke with Jennifer Weiss-Wolf, lawyer and author of Periods Gone Public.
I know for most people, they don't talk about it very much. It's not something that's crossed their doorstep. So they're sort of surprised when they hear about it for the first time. And a lot of folks will say, wow, I never thought about that. Or they'll be able to empathize greatly if there's somebody who does menstruate and thinks, oh, I know what that's like to be stuck without, a pad or a tampon when I need one. I couldn't even imagine what it would be like to have to go through 4 days, 5 days without one.
And what's not helping period poverty? The tampon tax. It's not actually a real tax on period products specifically, but refers to the fact that some states apply sales tax to period products. 5 states don't have sales tax. Another 24 states and D.C. exempt period products from being taxed. That still leaves 21 states charging you for your monthly period. One of these is Arizona, where I and many others pay a 5.6% tax on our period products. Every month, someone around you gets their period, and considering the cost of menstruation in this country, it's not just blood they're losing, but cash as well. In the studio, I'm Deanna Pistono.
Thanks, Deanna. The Arizona Department of Health Services recently released a report that shows an 11% increase in infant mortality rates. The data is from 2021 to 2022. The recent report shows that African American babies are the most likely to be born preterm, putting them at a higher risk for death. Maternal age, substance use, and insured prenatal care can all contribute to these preterm births. Access to care is crucial for combating the increasing mortality rates. Arizona is experiencing a shortage of the care that is needed.
We have families, especially in rural counties, that have to travel at least 4 to 5 hours, if not longer, to access care. Even in our urban population, in our urban centers, such as Phoenix, for example.
Tofi told us that access is one of the most relevant factors for preterm birthing issues in Arizona. She said that without investing in mothers and their babies, the problems we are seeing now will continue. And just because Thanksgiving week is over, it does not mean that good deals on shopping have to stop.
Today is Cyber Monday, the time to score great online deals and get ahead on some holiday shopping. Today is a big day to score deals from major brands like Amazon, and a lot of people are taking part. Adobe Analytics says close to $12 billion are expected to be spent today. The term Cyber Monday has been around a while, going back all the way to 2005, according to the National Retail Federation. And cooler temperatures are headed over for the next few days, and even a few chances of rain. Adriana Gonzalez-Chavez joins us now from the Cronkite Weather Center with more.
Good evening, everyone. We're sitting about 67 degrees right now, and chances of clouds for the rest of your evening, dipping down to 61 degrees by 10 p.m. tonight. Looking at our low temperatures across the state for tomorrow, staying in the low 20s for tomorrow. Grand Canyon hitting a low of 24, Flagstaff a low of 23, and Page a low of 30. Well, we will be dipping down in the 40s for the southwest part of the state. Casa Grande hitting a low of 45 degrees. Phoenix a low of 54, and Gila Bend a low of 47 for tomorrow. Looking at our high temperatures across the state for Tuesday, Phoenix will be hitting a high of 77. So really nice weather in Phoenix tomorrow to go outside, go for a hike, run in the afternoon. Casa Grande will be hitting a high of 74 degrees for tomorrow. Yuma also hitting a high of 74. Well, we will be pretty cold up north. Grand Canyon only heating up to 47 degrees tomorrow. Flagstaff a high of 46. Sedona a really nice 61 degrees for tomorrow. Looking into our futurecast all the way to Thursday,
chances of cloud coverage all across the state, mostly in the Flagstaff and Tucson area. Clouds coming in from California. Also chances of storms for the state, Flagstaff and Tucson possibly having a chance of rain. Phoenix also possibly having a chance of rain coming into next week. Looking at our 8-day forecast, chances of clouds for Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday, high of 73 with a low of 53. Partly cloudy on Thursday with a high of 67 and a low of 49. So really nice weather looking into next week as we cool down even more. Chances of rain for Friday, 40% chance with a high of 64 and a low of 51. Partly cloudy Saturday with a 10% chance of rain, high of 63. Sunday, we clear back up. Monday, the clouds come back with a high of 67, and then Tuesday, we warm up a little bit again with a high of 72 and a low of 46 for next Tuesday. I'm Adriana Gonzalez-Chavez from the Cronkite Weather Center. Back to you, Jacob and Tabitha.
Thanks, Adriana. Now, I know we are definitely looking forward to those cooler temperatures as we're heading into the last days of November.
Janae Bradford joins us now with a look at what's coming up in our Cronkite Sports Report. Hey, Janae.
Hey, Jacob. That's right. Coming up next, a soccer player who made history is now on the road to redemption. When we return, we'll have the story of the young soccer phenom that's working his way back to the pros.
We tell ourselves stories as a nation.
These stories need to be highlighted, they need to be explored.
We're the dreamers.
How serious is America's commitment to looking at its history? How can we learn from the past?
Douglas said, "You're going to look me in the eye and see my humanity."
It's illuminating. I'm seeing the expansiveness of my history.
It's pretty great.
There's so much richness to Black life and Black culture.
I think the story of Muslims in America is the story of America.
Tonight, they are free.
I cannot imagine how excited he must have been.
It's a wonderful feeling. This is why we do this.
It makes me even more committed to struggling for a better world.
Find out what's on Arizona PBS at azpbs.org/schedule.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sensei Garage,
to sports coverage,
against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news.
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue,
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
Good evening and welcome to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Janae Bradford. Let's start with the Suns. Phoenix faced the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden on Sunday, and there's something about the mecca of basketball that brings the dog out of many players. And that dog in particular was without a doubt Devin Booker. Game tied 113 apiece, the Knicks double-teamed him, but could not stop D Book from nailing the game-winning three with 1.7 seconds left on the clock. Booker finished with 27 points, 11 assists to help extend the Suns' win streak to 7, and he earned Western Conference Player of the Week.
Holly, that would be the Arizona State Sun Devils.
What a turnaround. First-year head coach J.J. Van Niel has Arizona State playing their best volleyball in years. They're plus 14 wins on the season. Huge turnaround, and they've got a dominant opposite player in Marta Levinska.
That's right. For the first time since 2015, Sun Devil Volleyball is back in the NCAA tournament as a number 5 seed. They will face Georgia in the first round on Friday, December 1st in Provo, Utah. The last time ASU won an NCAA tournament game was in 2014 when the team made it to the second round. You can watch all the matches live on ESPN+. It's the end of an era for Pac-12 football in the Valley after the number 16 Arizona Wildcats came into town for another classic Territorial Cup matchup, and it was a lopsided affair. Even though the Sun Devils had home field advantage, they were no match for the Wildcats, who dominated every facet of the game. ASU freshman Jada Rashada made his return, but took the sack on this play. On the other end, Arizona quarterback Noah Fafita threw for a school record 527 yards and 5 touchdowns. Arizona wins 59-23, moving up to number 14 in the rankings. Meanwhile, Kenny Dillingham says his offseason priority is recruiting and fundraising.
It's all inclusive, and the longer I'm the head coach here in year 2 and 3, there are no excuses. There's never excuses, because that's where college football is different than the NFL. It's different because you pick everything that happens in your program you're in control of. So when we're in year 2 and we're in year 3, when you're in year 4, everything is 100% a reflection of what I've allowed to happen. And that starts with donors and fundraising and getting people involved. So I got to go do that.
And as one of the only schools with football and basketball ranked in the top 25, Arizona men's hoops now sit at the number 2 in the latest AP poll. They're still undefeated with a 6-0 record and are the only Pac-12 school on the list. The losing streak continues, however, for the Arizona Cardinals after the LA Rams defeated them at home. Kyler Murray is still getting back in the groove, but was sacked 4 times in this game. And Rams QB Matthew Stafford threw for a season-high 4 touchdowns to win this one 37-14. The Cardinals are still trying to remain optimistic and hopefully finish better than how they started.
Obviously, injuries suck, and, guys are banged up. It's kind of late in the season, and, we've got a late bye this year, but honestly, it doesn't matter. No one really cares. We come to work every day and work. Buddha says it all the time, just work at work. And that's what we got to do to put this together and win some football games.
It might be the off-season in the world of collegiate men's soccer, but the grind never stops for one 17-year-old sophomore in particular. Our Ryan Bennell spoke with GCU's Ansu Kane on how he's aiming to get back to the pros after making his USL debut at just 14 years old.
Ansu Kane became the youngest USL debutant at 14 years, 10 months, and 1 day old when he first made an appearance for Phoenix Rising's senior team. But at the time, Kane wasn't concerned with breaking any records.
At the time, I didn't really think of it. It was just like, I was just trying to play soccer, I was like, I'm here, I'm having fun. And but now looking back, it was like, oh yeah, it was a big deal.
The now 17-year-old Kane moved to Glendale from Liberia at age 10 after his mother was selected for the Department of State's diversity visa program, and he's been dominating on the pitch ever since stepping foot in America.
Those are pros, that's their job, They're out there to make money. I'm like this kid just there having fun, and they got kids home that are probably my age.
Although a professional soccer career just 14 years old is a lot to juggle, an ACL injury was a major change of plans for the Liberian national.
I believe in working and just looking forward to the future because things happen quick. You never know. You just keep working, and one thing out of another, things just happens.
After the ACL injury, Kane made the decision to change the direction of his athletic career and attend Grand Canyon University, where he is working to get back to the pro level.
He's coming in on his own to do extra stuff, whether it's physically or technically with the ball and all that. He's a player that has a great internal motivation and drive to become better.
And Kane is doing all of this while more than 3,000 miles away from home.
But sometimes I wish I can just go home, especially to see my grandma, because she's my favorite person ever. But just being away from her 6 years going to 7 years now is sometimes I wish one day I'd just go and see her and come back.
Despite all of these challenges, Kane maintains a positive mindset that he will one day make it back to the professional level. In Phoenix, Ryan Bennell, Cronkite News.
And that wraps up your Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Janae Bradford. Now back to Jacob and Tabitha.
Thanks, Janae. Coming up next, now that Thanksgiving is over, is it time to move on to Christmas? The White House certainly thinks so. The White House has officially revealed this year's Christmas decor. The theme Jill Biden selected is up next.
And that's the way it is. Monday, September.
Newscasting has changed a lot since the time of Walter Cronkite. That's why here at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism, you can learn the studio production skills of today in real time. Whether you want to work audio, direct, technical direct, design graphics, or you can even run the floor. It's all part of the Television Production and Graphics Lab here at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. We're going on in 3, 2...
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience
Nopales como este. Van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Find out what's on Arizona PBS at azpbs.org/schedule.
This year, the White House is hoping you'll embrace your inner child for Christmas. First Lady Jill Biden selected the magic, wonder, and joy of the holidays as the theme for the White House's 2023 decor.
For this holiday season, the White House decorated with almost 15,000 feet of ribbon, 350 candles, and over 35,000 ornaments. 300 volunteers from across the country worked for a week to get the White House ready. There are also 98 Christmas trees throughout the property and more than 142,000 holiday lights to cover it all.
That's it for Cronkite News. Thank you for joining us.
And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.